Hi, Acadiana. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Happy Wednesday to you. Today is July the 16th. This is Acadiana Weather Today, a short morning chat on your upcoming weather conditions and how they're going to affect your day. Today looks like the last decent day before tropical moisture moves in. We've got flood watches that are going to be posted starting on Thursday, and it looks like we could see several inches of rain between Thursday and the mid part of the weekend. We'll get to disturbance 93L in just a little bit, but first I want to let you know that storm season never really ends, and it's time to save the stuff that matters. Ritter Consulting Engineers uses Matterport 3D imaging to scan your home or business, which can be used for insurance purposes before and after a storm. They're also revolutionizing real estate so buyers can tour homes right from their computer. Call Ritter Consulting Engineers at 984-8498 or visit their website. Well, SkyCam here this morning, looking at mostly fair skies here in Lafayette. It's another warm and muggy one, although it feels a couple of degrees cooler than it did yesterday, but we'll have to check out those temperatures and those dew points here in just a little bit. But as far as your morning commute, I think you're going to be okay. Eastern sections, though, if you're going to be commuting maybe over toward the New Orleans area or you got some travel plans toward the Mississippi and Alabama coast, you'll probably run into some showers a little bit later on during the day. But you can see on the big radar, there's a lot of rain out over the Gulf waters, but fortunately, so far, we haven't seen a lot over land. A lot of this is part of disturbance 93L that is currently right along the Florida coastline. Meanwhile, temperatures are staying quite warm across Acadiana, and we're going to be running in the 70s to near 80 degrees for the early part of the day. But then later this afternoon, it looks like our highs are still going to manage their way into the mid-90s, with heat index values getting up over 105. Big satellite showing mostly fair skies, but you see those clouds, those higher clouds kind of encroaching there on the eastern part of Louisiana. Again, that's part of 93L that will continue to push off toward the west. We've got a bit of a trough that's moving across the middle part of the country, and another ridge is going to be building over the east, which will be part of the reason why we think this trough of low pressure or this tropical disturbance, or what might eventually become a tropical depression, will drift off toward the west and then eventually moving off toward the north. So you can see here on the simulated satellite, there's a lot of moisture in place, some big thunderstorms later today and tonight over the southeastern part of the state, but really not nudging its way into the Acadiana area until we get into Thursday. So you can see that little swirl, maybe even low pressure developing there off the coast of New Orleans, east or maybe south of Biloxi. And this is just one model. We've got some models that are still going tropical depression to near tropical storm, but a lot of the models are dropping back a little bit because there's a hint that a lot of this will probably stay over land. But that still doesn't mean we're out of the woods when it comes to the heavy rains. Temperatures are going to get into the mid-90s. Heat index could go as high as 108. 77, though, the overnight low here in Acadiana. Some areas might not drop below 80 degrees, especially over the southeastern sections where that tropical moisture is going to be moving in. And you've got one last good boating day before the bigger rains start to come in. Winds will be out of the west at about 5 to 10 knots and seas 2 to 3 feet. So let's now get to the big story, which is 93L. It did cross over Florida, and now it's kind of really close there to the Florida panhandle, at least at this point. The latest track of it is showing it there moving off toward the west, but the low pressure center is still over land just to the east of Apalachicola. And as far as the forecast tracks, we are looking at the possibility of this moving off toward the west, but you can see a lot of those lines are hugging the coast or maybe even staying inland. If it stays just offshore, we might get a tropical depression or maybe even a weak tropical storm, but if it stays over land, we're not going to be seeing any development there. But as far as the intensity forecasts, we are going to be looking at least what they're forecasting right now, tropical depression or perhaps a weak tropical storm. But it's the rainfall that's going to be the big thing. And again, regardless of if this develops into a tropical depression or becomes a tropical storm or just as a trough of low pressure moving off to the west, rainfall could be extreme. Now, this is one of our medium range models here that only goes through midday Friday, and you can see a lot of the totals, even here in Acadiana, are exceeding 3 or 4 inches. And the National Weather Service office over in Lake Charles calling officially about 4 to 8 inches on the forecast, but there could be considerably more. This is kind of a situation with all this tropical moisture that even if it doesn't develop into a tropical system formally, this could become quite the flood event. And we've seen a number of flood events kind of developing in this particular way. So that's why there's more of a concern. So a flash flood watch will begin on Thursday and will stay in effect through Saturday evening. And as far as the National Hurricane Center, they're still running about 40% on the chance for development, mainly because of its proximity to land. The rest of the tropical Atlantic is nice and quiet right now. There's some tropical waves moving off toward the west. Nothing really showing up in the models for the next several days, but of course we'll look ahead and we'll focus on 93L here live at noon on Let's Talk Tropics, but of course we'll look at anything that could be developing out over the Atlantic Basin. That's live at noon right here on Acadiana Weather Today. Your high should get up to 94 degrees today under partly cloudy skies. There will be some scattered showers and thunderstorms, about a 30% risk there. Down to 77 tonight. Can't rule out a few showers occurring during the overnight period, but rain is going to become likely both Thursday and Friday. I don't think we're going to see severe weather, but we're going to be seeing rain with some occasional thunder and some heavy tropical downpours. And I would say between Thursday and Saturday, easily 4 to 8 inches of rain could be falling, with additional amounts in some cases. There will be flooding possible over parts of Louisiana. Well, I hope you enjoy Acadiana Weather Today. If you do, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also turn on those notifications. You can also hear my forecast daily on Big 102.1, Planet Radio 106.7, and Freedom 95.1. In between, please follow my social media pages for any updates on 93L, both on Facebook and X. And thanks to everyone who has subscribed to Acadiana Weather Today. Really hope you'll join me live at noon for Let's Talk Tropics. If you can't make it at noon, don't forget those forecasts are saved on the channel Acadiana Weather Today, so you can watch it whenever you want. But it will be live at noon. If I don't see you then, I hope to see you on Thursday. Have a great day.